It's a situation that might soon see shops closing across the country. But why? It appears that the Executive Secretary of the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana, Samson Asake Awingobit, is the one who can help us understand why importers are currently very unhappy about the cargo tracking note and the high import duty and high exchange rate and how they are affecting the work that they do at the ports. Let's learn more. Samson, how nice to see you. Thank you for coming.
Nice to meet you again. Indeed. I think I used to see you in the radio.
Yes.
I was surprised to see you in TV.
Wherever you go,
I'm always busy. So myself, I don't watch television because of the job, you know, the nature of the job.
Indeed.
So it's nice meeting you once again.
Exactly, and thank you so much for coming.
You're doing very well in TV, isn't it?
You're very kind.
Great.
God bless you.
Great.
But today, of course, we're interested in what's happening at the ports, and there's a lot of unrest. Walk us through, quite simply, what the problem is and what it is that you want government to do.
Well, thank you very much, Kojo. And I must say a very big good morning to all your cherished viewers. I'm coming from Boku, and I know Boku, they do watch your station a lot. So the overlord of Boku Naba and the people of Boku, I say a very good morning to all of them, and good morning to my importers and exporters in the country. I must say that what is happening in the country at the moment should be a matter of interest to the states. And for that matter, it should be a matter of national security interest. If you take the last time, the global business ranking by the World Bank, I'm sure you have seen it. You are very interested in business sector in this country. You will see where Ghana was positioned, and it was as a result of high cost of doing business in our country. Now, the Ministry of Trade, under the TFA, that was rectified by the previous government, that's His Excellency John Dramani Mahama government time, makes it easy and makes it to understand that the next time World Bank comes to do business, some of the things that the World Bank raises, we should do away with them and let business flow, so that when we are ranking, Ghana should be, at least if you are not at number 1, we should be within the top 10 or the top 100. Current position is not the best. Quite apart from that, let's go back to history. Ghana Surface Authority in 2015 thereabout wanted to implement a policy called ASHE. And in that ASHE, the issue was that importers are under-declaring. I'm sure you remember that. Importers fake receipts in Community 2. I'm sure you remember that. And we told them that at that point in time, it wasn't the best. And we even asked the Ghana Surface Authority that, per your act, you are to support, to promote the interests of importing and exporting in this country. So if you come to say this in the public, what are you talking about? Are you, where is your defensive, where is your protection to the import and export in this country? So His Excellency the President, we met him in one of the national functions at the custom headquarters when custom officers were celebrating Custom World Day. Then we made one of the group persons to speak. I think that was, I remember the AGI president by then, or was it gift president by then, who spoke. And the president, after consulting there and there, halt the policy. Now, after election, you remember, 2016, the NDC government lost election power. Then power was transferred to the New Patriotic Party. So first major paradigm shift that the government did at that time was the paperless implementation. You remember?
Yes.
That His Excellency the Vice President hosted us at one-day port conferences at Labadi Beach. And that was where he also reiterated that he understands that people do things in the port and faking of receipt, invoices, and stuff like that. Even I remember that very day, they made Kofi Mbiya, the then CEO of Ghana Surface Authority, to make a presentation, and he made this categorically. So the Vice President says that was one of the reasons why we want paperless to come, and so those things will be things of the past. Quite apart from that, the Vice President also emphasized that the ease of doing business when we implement paperless, the hassles that importers or agents go through, it will be 4 hours. We use 4 hours to clear the cargo. Remember, they implemented paperless, even though some of us agitated that it should, yes, we support paperless, but they should start it on piloting base, so that after which, when we correct all the bottleneck, then we can move full flare. So that was done. You remember this early this year, the Vice President revised the institutions again, which were 23 to now to 3, Custom, Standards Authority, and FDA, now to work at the port. what is, if you ask what is the concept or what is the objective of what the vice president is doing or the economic management committee is doing, is to make sure that the next ranking, Ghana, when they talk of the ease of doing business, Ghana should be in the good books of the World Bank. You understand?
But mainly because it becomes easier
exactly
for you to do your job.
Exactly. And the cost, we're going to talk about ease of doing business, cost is paramount.
Of course, yes.
Time wasting in the port is paramount. Good. So we all continue to work to perfect the system. Then the CTN issue cropped in. I must say, let me say it, that the CTN team came to meet me. And when they meet me, they did not give us a proper briefing of what's happening. What triggered me and I accepted the policy at that time was, those who import from India, when the importation of India is coming, the custom officers at India give the importer what we call shipping bill. Apart from bill of lading, you hear bill of lading, the shipping bill. Now, in this shipping bill, we have the quantities. If it's 40-footer container, you load with maybe let's take tomato paste, the boxes, the quantities in the container, the total cost of the goods that you go there to buy, packaging, invoice, weight bills, anything that has to do. So it's declared on the shipping bill. When those importers, and you can open lines and your people will call it. Those importers, when they bring that documentation to Ghana Customs stand on that and assess them.
Right.
Without even knowing where it's coming from. But because it's coming from India Custom. But with this CTN, it's custom baby. In fact, my other colleagues, and I'm sure if you have spoken to a Gift and Cuba and others, they will tell you that even the law that they are using to do this, it is Secrets Authority Act. But in reference one, custom also refers that no, even in the Custom Management Act, sometimes they say they can use IT, they can add IT to do their work. Yes, so perfect. So custom want to use IT to make work easy for their customers. Their customers are importers and exporters in this country. For that matter, they want to introduce the CTN. When they engaged the CTN, first there was going to be payment. Later we spoke, we used issue. They said, okay, government will absorb it. You remember? And so it will start for first 6 months. It will be free, and later that we can discuss. But what happened? What triggered? Which custom is not forthcoming with the information? Is that when custom engaged, customs made it clear that even though they will implement CTN, which is their baby, but if the CTN people bring the invoice, so now this is how the CTN people will be doing. You remember when the Secrets Authority wanted to do ASHI, they contracted a company called Antaza. That has, they are just like SGS. They have their offices all over the world. You understand? Now, Antaza people came and set up an office in Ghana too. So they are, if I'm coming to JoyNews here to buy studio cameras, JoyNews to tell Antaza people that if it's in China, if it's in Germany, if it's in Holland, they have an office there, their agent office there. That Samson Asaki has come, is from Ghana. He's here to buy studio camera to Ghana. So their officer will come and inspect, and then of course you will show your books, the total amount that I've actually paid, the quantities that I'm buying to take to Ghana. Then they will offload those information and send to Secrets Authority or send to GRA ahead of time. So I don't come to you, bought the things at $100,000 and come to my country and declare $50,000.
That's right. That's the idea of CTN.
That's the idea of CTN.
Benefit. Okay.
Exactly. So in that case, I have not cut any corner. So when the documents get to custom and I come to Ghana, my goods arrive, customs to stand on my 100,000 and assess me to pay my duty.
So what's the problem?
Now I'm giving you. Maybe what for now? So let's
get straight to it.
It's a national issue, so I think you should give proper time so that we explain for the people to.
We have a limited amount of time. We must fit the conversation in there. Indeed.
Good.
So tell us what's the problem.
So with the CTN, the office is in Ghana. When you buy goods in Europe, you will give to your agent. You call him forwarder. So if I go to different shop or different company to buy my goods and I'm taking to Ghana, and I've come to my agent who has always been doing my job for me, it's my duty to give you the documents that when I bought it at JoyNews, it's $100,000. So these are my invoices, these are my packing, these are the quantities. Then you will now so in doing bit of lading to do the shipping, you also scan those documents and send to CTA office in Ghana ahead of time.
Yeah.
So by the time my goods get here, they will not accuse me something like that. I bought the goods worth 100,000,
Right.
and why do I come to present 50,000?
Good.
So they will use them to do the assessment.
Yeah.
But customs said that yes, even though with that, because they know that because the agent that is my agent. So if I'm even bring the information, it is not true, and that they will not even rely on the CTN document to assess somebody for duty. So you ask the question, so if you will not rely on the person, on the CTN document, then why do you say the importers should pay? That is the bottom line.
So let me get this clear.
Yes.
GRA has introduced the CTN system,
Yeah.
and are now saying that they will not rely on it.
Yes,
Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So if I come to buy goods that's why I'm using it here as a scenario. If I come to buy the goods here, it's worth 100,000. I bring it to you because you have been doing my forwarding for me to Ghana.
Yes.
You are my forwarder in the exporting country.
Yes.
So now I'm telling you that it's not only sending the information through shipping line alone. The government of Ghana said that they want to get my cost of goods that I bought in your country here, and the quantities that I'm sending to my country. Please do. These are the costs. These are the invoices and documentation. Please scan them and forward it to the CTN in Ghana.
Right.
So they will send the custom ahead before even my goods arrive in Ghana. And custom is saying that yes, we have asked you to do that. You are going to pay for that services, but yet we won't rely always on that document to do an assessment. So the question is, so why should the person pay? Because if I'm paying for something, you should use it. You should trust it.
Okay, so you are paying for this. You as an importer are paying for the processing of the CTN.
For the first 6 months, they said they won't pay, but when the notice came out, we see a company, and I can show you
now
somebody shipping from China in South Africa, and the CTN cost is on it.
Yes. So you are paying, but you are saying that GRA says they will not rely on it. That's the part I want to get clear.
They are not. They are to pay. They have not started paying yet. What is happening is that GRA is saying that for the first 6 months, rolling out CTN,
yeah, I understand
they won't pay.
I
but
understand
after
that.
6 months,
Eventually, you will pay. My point is this.
The main reason is that they are saying yes, you are mandated to send your packaging list, cost of buying, whatever, through your forwarder to the CTN platform before the shipment take place.
I understand all that.
When the CTN people print those documents or send those documents to us, whether by software or by soft copy or by print out, whatever, they will not start only on that to assess the importer. So the question is, so why are you giving the importer additional time and additional cost?
So what else will they stand on to assess the importer? In addition to
maybe their current
CTN.
Maybe their current tradition that they are doing. As I speak, there's no any importer. They can come and tell that there are other compliance importers, and which I earlier stated that those who import from India, if they come with shipping bill, they assess them based on the shipping bill. Others send, or majority will take 80% of the importation. You send an invoices, custom never use that. They use their own what we call benchmark values.
So have you imported anything and used the CTN system yet? Have you done that yet?
I've said there is an importation that is coming from South Africa. If my phone were to be here, I would have shown you.
So you have?
I would have shown you the rand. You know South Africa, they spend rand. Eh?
Yes. We need to get to we need to get to the point. So you've done it. You've done it before. When your things came in, they were assessed using CTN?
No, shipment now. They have sent information out to all the shipment lines.
Yes.
So as
soon
as
your things came in.
Good hasn't come yet on the CTN.
It hasn't come yet.
But as soon as you tell a shipper there, a forwarder that you are sending goods to Ghana, and they start to do the processing. On the processing, automatically it generates. They will tell you this is the CTN
It seems
cost.
your concern is the charge. The fact that you are being charged for it.
It's not only the charge. I've just told you. It seems the conversation. Well, you have to play the devil advocacy because you are a neutral person.
Oh no, I have to understand you.
That's what I'm trying to do. That the charge, if you ask someone to pay for a cost, if I don't pay or if I don't go through the system, I'll have to be penalized.
Yeah.
There's a law to it. Is that not it? So we are saying that if you ask the person to go through that is additional cost to you because there's a rudiment when you are going to do importation, how the documentation has to go through from the forwarder to the shipping line. You understand? There are certain requirements that you have to meet.
So you are
now
being asked to pay.
Additional requirement.
Yes. So you are being asked to pay.
Additional requirement that they're asking, that you have to do additional work to get those documents, get to CTN.
Yes, I'm with you.
Whether you pay or you are not paying, once you waste time and energy to do that work, it should be accepted by custom.
So that's the point I want you to explain to us. When you say it's not being accepted, what do you mean? So when your things come and you are going to clear them, they no longer consider your CTN documentation? Is that it?
They said they will not rely only on the CTN.
So what other things will they rely on?
You have this question. I am not a spokesperson.
And will you have to pay for those other things as well?
I'm not a spokesperson to custom, and for that matter, I cannot answer that.
So
I wish you should bring a GRA officer to answer that.
Well, let's understand you first, and then we'll get their side. So they say they will not rely only on that, but they haven't told you what else they will require from you.
Since when they implement the paperless implementation, you heard importers talking about benchmark values. You heard that in?
Yes.
Good. So you bring a commodity, say I bought it $10. They said they'll up it by $5. Say pay, they'll assess the duty on $15. So I'm sure that's what they want to do.
Okay.
So you can present to them all the truth invoices to CTN platform. They will tell you this is not 100,000, this is 150,000.
Right. So you suspect that they will be applying benchmark values in spite of the fact that you are providing evidence of the value of what you have imported. Evidence which is coming from your forwarder as well as the person you bought it from. Is that correct?
That is why I said something here. That's correct.
Okay.
I'm saying that when they wanted to do Antizer, I think that would have been the perfect one. Antizer goes to the manufacturer or wherever you're buying. If they have to even go and call, okay, I bought things, I paid, go and take my documents, do the net processing to Ghana for me. Customs say, oh, no, we want to do this. You go, buy your goods. When you go to your forwarder, give them your documentations. Then they will send to CTN. We are collecting it at source. It's the same thing at source. But however, when we come to do our in-house work, we will not rely only on. So if they will not rely only on that one, what are they going to do? That they haven't explained to us. So I can't answer that question.
Okay. So I now understand your point. Your point is that they are asking you to do this through your freight forwarders rather than finding some way like Antizer of getting it directly from the person you bought it from. They are choosing to let you do this through your freight forwarder, pay for that process.
You see?
And then when it comes, they will rely not only
you see,
on
yesterday,
that.
let me help you something. You see, yesterday, His Excellency the President launched something called integrated waste management system. I'm sure it should be in the papers this morning. I was the lead spokesperson on behalf of the group. With that, HGS is the implementing body or the agent for Ghana. HGS are going to use their offices over 100 or something niche worldwide. So if I'm going to buy electrical, maybe television sets, I'm going to buy electrical cables to Ghana, transformers, refrigerators, I only have to inform HGS local office in that country that I'm in this factory or I'm in this shop, I'm buying these quantities to Ghana. And they will just come and, okay, it is this is the cost of the eco-levy. Then they will ask, I pay to the producer or the manufacturer or the company that I'm buying the goods from. There's a component there that says that if the goods that you are sending, the electronic goods that you are sending to Ghana, its lifespan should have end up in your country. If maybe I'm buying from Germany, its lifespan should have end up in Germany. But because it's going to Ghana, the likelihood of it not coming back to Germany, so therefore the lifespan of the product will end up where? In Ghana. So we should find ways and means to do what? To dispose it in a safer way than what's happening.
Is this anything to do with CTN?
Yes. I'm giving you some scenario.
Right, because I'm a bit confused. I don't want us to lose our audience.
No. So with that, if I'm going to buy my electricals, I have the office there. They will come and take it. So whatever payment that they will take and send it, they can't come to Ghana and I say they won't ask because you didn't pay the right fee.
Right.
So in that regard, I'm saying that if you ask somebody to collect this document for you, you have to trust the person. So customs should of course, it's an additional job that the forwarder there will have to do. So he can charge the importer, whilst the importer will pay again on cargo tracker note. They get to Ghana and they say, so I pay twice. because the foreigner will tell you, look, this is not part of my work. But if your government says they want CTN and have to do additional work, then you have to pay additional. While you pay him for services rendered to you, you also pay to CTN. Then you go to shipping companies, you also pay because they are also going to because they are also going to do additional work for the importer. So before you see, you have gone through 3 steps of payment before you can clear the goods.
All right.
However, that is not the only thing we are talking. We are saying that if you restrict me to this procedure, accept the values.
Okay, so your
let me say yesterday
your problem. Let me ask the question. Your difficulty, and your association, your people, and the reason why shops are now going to even close down on Monday.
I'm sure you. Okay.
Your difficulty is that the documentation you are being asked to provide, it appears that GRA will need more than that, but you don't know what else they will need. Have you spoken to GRA? Have you asked them what else they require of you?
They have done stakeholders engagement, and we have raised issues, and they said they will go and come. They have never come back. In fact, you remember the fight began with gift during the first press conference. You remember, and there was a meeting we were called last week Monday to the Ministry of Finance, and later on the day that they did the demonstration, the first day, that was the 27th, right? They sit down strike. The AC in Tema, Assistant Commissioner of Customs in Tema, met us. I was there in that meeting. Then he said he was going to head office to come back. He has still not yet come back. The day before yesterday, the second day, they met National Security. They said they will come back. They have still not come back. But let me tell you, Gutta, with the heading the consultative forum, will be doing a press conference this morning in solidarity to the agents to shut down Accra, just like we did during His Excellency President Mahama time. But yesterday in the waste some plant launching at the Flagstaff House, my able president, the Gutta president, was there, and he whispered into His Excellency the President ears. After the official function, His Excellency the President asked his Executive Secretary to take him up to his office, and there was a very crunch meeting. I'm told that the Vice President was called to that meeting, the Finance Minister was called, the Trade Minister was called, the top officers at ETM, Economic Management Team, were all called to that meeting with the Chief of Staff sitting in the meeting, and with the President himself. This morning there will be a press conference at Opera Square. I'm sure you are aware of that. Gutta President will have something to tell us. He kept some of the things to himself. So he said he will brief us this morning at the press conference. If it's good, and I'm told by Gutta President that it's likely there will be a press release. If it is good, Accra may not shut down. If it's not good, Accra may shut down.
Okay, so we await the press release. But am I right in saying that Maxwell Agbagba has been speaking to some of the traders? Are we able to get Maxwell? I'm told we'll get that in our subsequent bulletins. But for now, we're going to take a break, come back with Showbiz. Mr. Awingobit, thank you very much for educating us on your plight.
Mr. Asake.
Let's see.
My father's name is Asake.
Ah, okay.
Yes. Awingobit, when you call me something, Awingobit, it's all my name. And as people, as we do, you know, my overlord is looking at me and says, Mr. Sampson, you won yourself. I didn't won myself.
Indeed.
Thank you very much for having me too.
All right. Well, we're going to bring you some showbiz news, the very latest showbiz news right after this.